Hello and welcome. My name is Salom, and today we are still talking about EVs. In my previous video, that was with Kekeli Bakna, and we're driving the BYD Han, and we were trying to have some sort of debate on EVs, and I said a lot of things there. Going back to it and getting questions from or feedback from people, I decided to make this video so that we look at EVs properly. Now, how do EVs work? EVs are basically alternate form of powering your car, the way we have an engine powering the cars that we know. This one is just a different type of power to move our vehicles, and it is basically motors or a motor that's been put there to turn the wheel so that it moves. So you need a motor and batteries to store the power. Basically like the car toys that we see around, or the ones that we had when we were children, like this one. And this is actually a perfect example of an EV, because this one you have to charge. If you look down here, everything is cased here, down here, and you have a spot here where you can put in the charger and charge it for it to work. So basically like this one, the EV has batteries where when you charge it, you are able to re-power the batteries. Then it goes to the motor when you need it. So when you charge it, it re-powers the batteries for you to be able to use it for the motors. So you charge the battery. But you know, in the olden times, the toy cars that we had, you could take the batteries out, put new ones in, and you'd be good to go. However, this one, you cannot easily take the battery or the batteries out. So in order to use or to recharge the batteries, you plug it and you charge it up, then the motors can take the power from there. And this makes it interesting in its design, because you don't need a lot of moving parts as the ICE cars would need. You just need the braking system. That is very important. Braking the car is as important as moving the car. So you need the braking system, the batteries, the motors, and basically that. For the conventional cars we have, we need a transmission, and the transmission and its design alone gives us a lot of moving parts. Because of the fuel you're using, we need a fuel system. That is another crazy system. So you realize that for the normal cars, a lot of components come together to make the car we know. But with this one, all or most of these things have been taken out to make the car very simple in its design. It's not that simple, but comparing it to the conventional cars we know, they are quite simple. So back to the video that I did at my previous video, Kekeli was going on about that being the future because he feels it gives clean energy. I don't have any problem with EVs, believe me, because EVs are actually, as I said in that video, a solution to some problems. And it gives this notion and this mindset that we are running on clean energy, which I would like to come back to, because you know, it depends on how you make the clean energy. Some people use nuclear energy to make the electricity, and we can imagine what it does to the society. Water is actually a fuel to how we make one of the electricities, and that's the hydro. If you're going to hydroelectricity, you use water, and it's very shocking. Water is, in this point, fuel. So I was at a point I was thinking, imagine you're using water as fuel in your car. I have come to see that most people make the EV or the inside of the EV slightly different, maybe just to make it stand out. And because you know it doesn't have the normal combustion engine that we use, it doesn't need any cooling of sorts. Okay, it doesn't really need cooling because the engine is very hot. The normal engine we have is very hot, but these ones are motors, so it is not heated like that. So the design too can change, and you can design it in a way that it will go through air easy and better, because now the air will not have to go through the bonnet or have to go through the inside of the car to try to cool anything. You don't have radiators, you don't have none of that. So you can design it so that the front becomes so smooth, it goes through the air. And that is what some car companies are leaning on to design their cars and make the cars easier to design. So EVs for car brand makes it easier for them to design because you don't really think about cooling anything. So they can go crazy with aerodynamic designs. I remember saying that the EVs, when car companies get comfortable with it, then we can get comfortable with it. Then I realized that, hold on, in that video, maybe we're just mocking about, so we didn't really touch on a lot of things. But the truth of the matter is that a lot of the car companies have been leaning into the EV space. The only thing is that because of where we are in Ghana, and that's the painful truth, because of where we are in Ghana, we are not exposed to these cars, or we are not exposed to what these big brands are doing in the EV space. I mean, Tesla actually started the EV run in a very interesting way. I mean, before Tesla, I think I saw a list. I have a list here. We'll actually go through the list and see some of the cars, the car companies and the cars that they have made over the years. But Tesla started hyping it very much somewhere 2015, then 2019, 2020, the other car brands also jumped into it, and they have made a lot of cars in this space, in the EV space. So many of them, like, as I said, because of the place we find ourselves, and maybe because of power, that's the electricity generation, it not being stable and it not being in abundance for us to enjoy, we don't hear a lot about these cars. Now it's coming to the market, especially the Chinese. I think in China, once you are able to make a motor for the tires or for the EV, you just make a car. They have gone berserk with it. The Chinese is not even funny. I actually saw one not too long ago on the road. I think it was yesterday actually. Nami, and it's a Chinese car, which is an EV. Okay, so with the Chinese, they've gone crazy because I don't want to think that it is cleaner. I want to think that it is because it doesn't have a lot of moving parts, so making the car is not very difficult. That's what I think. And I think that because it doesn't have a lot of moving parts, maintaining it is easier as compared to the normal cars. That's what I think. And that's because, you see, with a normal car, you may not have to do a lot on your car till problems start coming up, and that could cause other problems. So when those things start coming, it's sometimes very difficult to trace. So your car is jerking, or maybe you're not getting enough power. You might think that it is maybe your fuel pump, or you think that it is maybe your injectors, or it's your spark plugs, or it's your ignition coil. Like, you see a lot of, but this one, it won't give you anything like that. And when there's a problem, it's easy to trace. So it is not with the mindset that it is clean to the environment. I don't think that is a thing that we should dwell on. But I think that living with it is what we should be dwelling on. How comfortable or how easy is it to live with it? Okay, so I am thinking that because of these benefits, okay, EVs look like something that we should consider, because once you develop a fault, it's easier to diagnose and know what the problem is. Then you solve it. Unlike the conventional cars we have, the ICE cars we have, you could be going round and round in circles trying to solve a problem. You might even think you've solved it till something happens. Too many moving parts, so too many possibilities of what the problem could be. So that is one thing that's one thing I think makes it easy, or will make me want to use an EV as a daily. Now with the charging, before I go into the cars, now with the charging, well, when you're going to buy an EV, just make inquiries to find out, because just like a phone, and maybe we'll get there, but just like a phone, when it started, we were having normal charging, the batteries could heat up, we had all these issues, but now we have super fast chargers. What it means is you can charge your battery, your phone battery, from maybe 20% to 80% in maybe 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and you can hit 100 in less than 1 hour. And that is amazing. And that technology is coming into the EV space. So you could actually go to your charging point, plug it in, 30 minutes, you can take it home, bring it back, do whatever you want to do with it, and maybe bring it back another time, depending on how you use the car. So the charging is actually something that they are looking into. It might not be as fast as filling up your tank in the conventional cars. You could use maybe less than 2 minutes, depending on how much you're buying, and you can enjoy yourself. But with the EV, it has to go above 30 minutes, so you may have to be patient. That's even depending on whether it is a fast charging car EV or not, and if it is AC or DC where you are charging. You have to know all these things so that you know how fast you can charge. And another thing in Ghana here is we don't have a lot of charging ports. I mean, they are springing up. I've seen a couple of them on the Spinches Road. I'm told there are a couple of them in East Legon. But if you are living somewhere like Kaswa, you're on your own. I don't know, I haven't heard of anything or any charging port on that stretch. So if you're living somewhere there, it becomes a problem. However, it is it's something that's coming up. So it's an investment that people are making. So we are hoping that power or charging stations will be built along these stretches, or they can be done in a way that you have to calculate. That's another thing I'll see in the video. A lot of calculation will have to come in play. So if you live in Kaswa and you buy an EV, and let's just assume that there's a charging port on your stretch, and you are working in somewhere like the Jubilee House, like maybe you're working around that area, or 37, you have to find a way to wake up early, already Kaswa traffic and all, wake up early, go and charge it, get to work, and make sure that the range on the car can take you to work and bring you home, and you may still have enough that might take you another day. It's a whole lot. That's not a plus for me. But if you are living around places where you can get easy access to the charging stations, it's actually something that I would advise you and encourage you to get. So it is actually a very clean car to use, an alternative clean car to use, as compared or as opposed to the normal conventional ICE cars we drive. So again, back to the question, is the EV car the future? I again will say I don't think so. I don't think EV is the future or is the future. I think it is part of the future. Some people will still want some grease under their fingernails. Some people will still want that noise, because how can you show off without some noise? So some people will still want that. But other people will just want the simplicity and the cleanliness the car comes with. That is all they may enjoy, or that's all they may want to enjoy. While others will want to enjoy the sound and the show off, and they making everybody see that I am in town. Okay, so these are the thoughts I gathered after I watched my video again and I thought about them again. These are the thoughts I gathered, and I'd like to hear from you. Really, I'd like to hear from you. What do you think with all that I've said? Do you have more things you may want to add to it, or you beg to differ? I mean, I really like to hear from you all. Once again, my name is Salom. I am really happy and always happy to come to you to share some of these things with you. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Share with your friends, like the video, and let's grow the channel. Thank you very much, and see you in the next one. Peace.